Yeah, but you know, you guys want to talk about other things first?
Sure, what have you guys been up to? I haven't really done anything since we last talked. I mean, last week there was so much to catch up on.
Yeah, there was. Well, I did see you play last night, which was interesting.
You saw a play?
Uh-huh.
Oh, shit.
Like a sister, probably.
With your sister?
Yeah, and my parents, we all went out. It was fun.
That's
Pasadena. But it was called The Father, which is... It was an interesting thing. It was about like an...
Was
you
it
know.
like a message, like a hint to you, Bob? Like,
Well-
come on, father, let's get it going.
I mean, not exactly. It's about an older guy who's battling with dementia, basically. And his like daughter and son-in-law and all that. But it's interesting. It was written by it was a French play to begin with.
It's like modern day.
Yeah, and now there's a movie with Anthony Hopkins in it that just came out like a week ago.
Oh, really? Is it called Father?
Yeah,
Okay.
The Father. And actually, playing the father was Alfred Molina.
Oh,
And he was really good.
I know
Yeah,
him.
but it was interesting because it's not like traditional play with act breaks and stuff. Like it was like every scene, like really jarring. Like it would go black, and then come up and then the lights would come up again, and things would change a little, and some of the actors would swap with each other. So it kind of made you feel like this guy, like losing his memory and all of that.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and then it got really sad. So it was
Right, don't spoil it.
I mean, you can imagine he's battling with dementia. So
Yeah.
but you know, just the way they put it
Does
together.
he win?
Yeah, nope.
There's no
Actually, he doesn't.
happy endings with dementia. I
But you know,
imagine.
the way they made it was really interesting because you kind of felt that confusion and all that. Like the audience would feel that because at first, especially, you have no idea. Like this is the structure of the play. Like why is this character a different actress now? You know, things like that.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was cool, and then
Well-
eventually you start to figure it out.
What kind of size was the theater?
I don't know. It's
with
like it's like a medium theater. I don't know. Couple hundred people.
Was it Noise Within?
No, it
Because
was
they moved to Pasadena. last I
yeah,
remember.
but they got their own theater. It's the Pasadena Playhouse. It's like a really old building. But yeah, it was good.
You guys ever hear about anyone from Noise Within making a career
No,
bigger than a Noise
What,
Within?
as actors? No, I don't even remember the actors.
just that one Macbeth guy that was in Vanilla Sky.
Was he?
Yeah, you're the one who recognized him. It was insane.
Oh, shit.
He has like
This happened like 10 years ago,
he
probably.
has
so I
like
don't remember.
one or maybe two lines, and Mher was like, I know this guy. I know this guy. We looked in the credits and then we like looked it up, and it was the guy.
It was the guy from Macbeth.
Yeah, it
that
was
we
Macbeth.
saw in high school.
Yeah, it's like Mher, that's insane. How did you recognize him?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, one of the guys in this play last night. Well, you guys know Alfred Molina, but
Sure.
there was like a substitute player for one of the other characters, and he was a guy that was in one episode of The Office.
And you recognized him?
I didn't really, but looking at his, they give you
his
the
credits or his the
Right.
playbill, as they call it, or
I was
something.
like, oh, yeah, that is that guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
I took a 4-hour test yesterday.
nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. It's called the C Best. It's for teachers.
Yeah, hell yeah. That sounds fun. How did it go?
For what stage of teaching? Is this to go to a teaching
No,
school
it's just
or to teach?
it's like a basic every teacher that works in the public school system.
Well, you took the
that's
actual
just-
test or
yeah.
practice?
The actual test.
Oh, nice. Did
And I
you-
fucking forgot that it was yesterday.
No way.
And then on Friday night, I like looked at the date and I was like, that's close to something. And I was like, oh shit, the test is tomorrow.
Did
No way.
you study at all?
I mean, I studied it on Friday night. I took like a sample of each section.
because there's like math that I feel like you might just need to brush up on. You know.
No, it's easier than that. It's like high school. It's like high school entry level almost.
Okay.
So like middle school level math or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume that most of my middle school students would fail that section pretty hard. But
okay.
it's like yeah, it
What
doesn't
is
go
it,
past
like
algebra.
adding fractions and stuff like that?
Yeah, lots of that.
Okay, that
There's
sounds
some
easy.
algebra stuff in there.
Okay.
And there's like basic geometry of do you know what these terms mean, like perimeter and whatever.
Okay. So how did you think you did?
Area.
You did all right?
If I got something wrong on the math section, I'm gonna be really upset.
Oh,
Because
really?
I'd like
It
double
seemed
check.
pretty easy.
Yeah, it seemed pretty easy.
Well,
And-
are you gonna know what you got wrong? Don't they just tell you passed?
Well, there's a point system.
Huh?
So I don't know exactly if I think they well no, there's sections. Each section there's a point system,
Right.
so it tells you if you got something wrong in the math section.
And
That's
then
cool.
what is there like reading comprehension?
Yeah,
or
there's reading
English
comprehension
or something.
Yeah. And then there's 2 essays.
Oh fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, the essays kind of suck.
I mean, it's a test for K through 12 teaching, right?
Yeah.
That's a teacher's teaching level, which is interesting because
Yeah, the reading section was kind of annoying too because there's a lot of like which statement like most is most likely to be inferred by the writer or least likely, and it's like you know multiple of them would make sense of the answers. It's just you got to pick the best one.
that's actually I was talking to the other one of the other tutors I work with, and it's so weird on the SATs where the inference questions we were specifically talking about the inference things how different it is like the logic behind it than for example like on the LSAT because some of the inferences that they take from some of the passages like are not like on the LSAT like that wouldn't be right.
Oh,
Because
it's like
it's
very technical on the LSAT or very
Exactly.
specific.
Exactly. So like
Everything has to be explicit in some
it's
way.
kind of like on the SAT it's kind of like okay you can like he's probably saying this as opposed to like this is like
Definitely
the
what he's saying.
exact thing he's saying. Yeah, because some of the inferences they made were like
Yeah, that was kind
Not
of my
100%
qualm
true.
with the
Yeah.
it would be like one paragraph of like 5 sentences.
Yeah.
And it's like the question is like trying to like where's this guy from? It's like what?
But isn't like using the kind of argument like, hey, come on, we all know what he meant. Isn't that like a pretty common thing that happens in like court and stuff? Or no?
yeah, I think the LSAT kind of tests you for because where people argue is on the law. Like lawyers, like the argument lawyers make is what did they mean in the law itself.
Yeah.
So you can argue like the law very clearly and like says
Said this.
one thing, and then somebody else will argue, sure, but from the notes you see that the legislature like
They were thinking
meant
this.
something else, or
Uh-huh.
you know, exactly. So yeah, in general, like they're not going to be as nitpicky about like a witness's statements because they're not like legal scholars. you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was super surprised though. Like when I went, it was like early in the morning, and I didn't take a shower. I just like looked all haggard. I didn't give a fuck.
Oh no, man.
But then it was like all these cute like young
Nice
like 20,
teachers.
like mid-20s, like dressed all nice, ready to take this. It
Making-
was like there was like hundreds and hundreds of people
Really?
there. I was like, what the fuck
Making
is
a good
this?
impression,
Yeah.
Najee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what those standardized tests, like the bar exam. It's the biggest room I've ever been in. There's hundreds of people. It's crazy.
It's like a,
Oh, that's crazy. We
looks
went
like
we
a
did it at
hangar.
high school, so
Okay.
they just
is it
there
a
was
like
rooms.
cafetorium or something?
Well, it was like the Pasadena Convention Center was where I've done it a couple of times, and they basically
those places are huge.
like they have a couple of rooms, but they take the walls down because you know
Yeah.
you can add and take away the dividers. But yeah, dude, that just reminded me of when I took the AP World History, like a practice thing for when I was getting hired for tutoring, and then there was some miscommunication. So the woman came in and was like, "Okay, can you do the U.S. history one too now?"
Yeah, remember
I
you
was
told the
like-
story. You took they gave you the wrong test.
So like the first one was I forget how many hours, like 2 hours, 3 hours. I should know that since I'm preparing the kids for the exam. But it was kind of fun, unexpectedly. I was like, hell yeah, give me more, man, give me more.
Yeah, because there was no pressure on you for that, right? It's not like
Well, there
you're
kinda
actually
was.
submitting this for college or something.
Right, but I had to get a pretty good.
Yeah.
Score.
it's for your
But
job.
then it was like, okay, they didn't even read the essay part. Like, there was a miscommunication.
Oh.
Somebody thought I was coming in, like, I don't look like a high school student. Somebody thought I was taking it, like,
Oh, for real?
yeah, like, what do you call it? Like
A practice test?
a
Or
diagnostic or whatever, so that I could come in and get tutored. Obviously, over 30-year-old man, like I don't get where that confusion was.
You look the same as when you were
this
in high
isn't,
school, Bubba.
this
Come
isn't
on.
for school. Just I want to get tutored as a hobby.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Like picking up a hobby in world history.
But anyway, you think you did well, right?
Yeah, I think I did. I passed. It's weird. There's so it's 50 questions, two essays that are worth 50 points, 25 each, I guess. But the threshold is 41 for each section, which is like, why would
you gotta have 41? So
yeah.
you gotta get a D grade on each one, and you can
No,
B
it's out
minus.
of 50.
Oh, out of 50.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
But it's like, why 1? Why not just
That
make
is
it 40?
kinda weird.
Yeah, it's just like, what?
Yeah, that's
I
kind of
mean,
weird.
And then in my classroom, it was so funny. There was this lady like behind me to my right, and she's just like sitting in a chair, and then like they hand out the booklet and they hand out the answer sheet or whatever that you fill in, and she's just like sitting there, and then at a certain point, she's just like, "This is not my name."
what the hell?
And then we're all just like, "Oh, what the hell? Is something wrong?" And then the proctor comes over and she's like, "Oh, you're in the wrong seat."
Oh.
And then she was like, "Oh." And then she moved to a completely different seat, like way on the other side of the classroom. It's like, if you couldn't figure out when you got the wrong name on your paper,
that was the test.
that like you're not.
Everybody else passes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
That's great. All right. Dude, on the bar exam, like, it's so nerve-wracking because you get there, you're supposed to be there at a certain time because, like, also, law students are litigious, so they have to start it, like, around the state at the same time, But then you get there and, you get to your seat, and you got to get there a little early, and then by the time everything starts, like, a few minutes in, and you spend, like, about an hour filling out, like, your name and all this other stuff.
Oh,
like,
really?
identification
Legal documents.
things. And it's like, God damn it, just let me take the test.
Yeah, it's got to put you in, like, not a test-taking mood.
Right. But I feel like it's kind of nice to, like, have that little gap between, like, cramming the last few little things and actually taking it. I feel like it relaxes you a little bit.
Yeah, I never really liked, like, almost cramming on the morning of even.
Yeah, it's
You gotta give yourself some room to, like, stretch your mind right before the test.
all
which
right.
means just not doing
Sorry.
anything. Yeah. Yeah, Bob, did you look up some stuff you want to share with us? Because
I
there was
did.
actually some interesting stuff that came up.
Yeah, so this is going to be etymology heavy.
I'm ready for it.
As our listeners love. There's a couple of things. One thing I was kind of annoyed by last week, as you guys remember, I forgot Chuck Yeager.
That's right, yeah.
On the way here, I'm listening to, again, that podcast, No Such Thing as a Fish, and they started talking about Chuck Yeager.
Oh, really?
So their whole thing was like, oh, you guys know that airplane voice that pilots do? This is your pilot speak, like, very calm.
Okay, sure, yeah.
If you look out on the left side, well, anyway, apparently it's modeled after Chuck Yeager because he sounded so, like, cool and in control
really?
that other people started
Maybe
doing
one of the hosts of that podcast was recently listening to ours, and that's what spurred on that little factor that they brought up.
Like, he traveled into the future because this was from, like, over a year ago. The podcast.
Damn, they got time travel too over that podcast.
Yeah. And just another thing, Nanogram, I think I mentioned to you, Mher, after the thing.
Yeah, you looked it up
Nanogram
after.
is, the reason why it was in my mind was it's also called a pick cross. It's a type of puzzle that I had been doing kind of recently. I feel like that's why it was in my mind. Anyway, that's it.
I think I'd like to do some. You showed me like on your phone what it looks like, and it seemed like it would be perfect for like newspapers, like crossword puzzles or Sudoku. But I've never seen it before.
Yeah, the interesting thing is there's some that people make that the whole idea is you make some kind of a pictorial thing at the end that comes out. It looks like a thing.
Yeah. There's like a message of some sort,
Right.
Not necessarily words, but some sort of
And
thing
then
that gets revealed.
you could do the random ones from this website I was doing. Some of them are really hard. So it's almost like Sudoku. It looks like a crossword puzzle almost. Like a blank crossword puzzle.
Cool.
Anyway, so on to the Bob talk. That was a pre-talk.
That was the
Yeah,
pre-Bob
we
talk.
get a pre-Bob talk too.
So you guys remember who Juan Vucetich is?
Yeah, first guy to use fingerprints. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. As
So
a
he-
detective, I guess. Maybe not as a scientist.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if they really use fingerprints for other things, right?
Yeah,
Science.
I don't know. Even today, well, they use it for identification today, not just, crime investigation.
Oh, right, okay.
Go ahead.
So we were wondering why this guy has such a weird mashup name.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah,
Especially for that time. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Well, it turns out he was born Ivan Vucetic in Hrar, Croatia.
Okay.
And then he was born in 1858, and he moved to Argentina in 1882 and started to call
really?
himself Juan. Yeah. Because, as you know, Juan
To
is...
fit in, yeah.
Well, Juan is John
And so is Ivan.
in Spanish and in Manx, apparently.
Oh, it is really.
Yeah.
Wait, with the "wa" sound too, with the W.
I
sound?
don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. But yeah, Ivan is also John. It comes from the Greek Iones, which comes from the Hebrew Johanna,
Yeah, yeah, and
which in Armenian is Hovannes.
Hovannes. So that V is you see that V show up in both, the Slavic John and Armenian, and maybe in other languages too.
Probably because it comes through the Greek, right?
Yeah, maybe. What is it?
Iones. So you can see where the Ivones.
Oh, I guess maybe
Iones.
between the vowels they had to, like, it was more natural for some languages to add a V. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that was that. That's why he had such a weird
Wait,
mashup.
did he do the fingerprint thing while he was in Argentina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Another thing, we were talking about pig.
Yeah, pig clay. Okay. Yeah.
So this is where we get the name Piggy Bank, which has nothing to do with pigs. So it comes from the Saxon for pug.
Saxon?
Mm-hmm. Like it's pronounced like pug.
Pug. Okay, pug related to the dog breed? Or no? Sorry, I keep interrupting. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't think it is related to the dog breed, because I don't know if it's actually, because the article I got it from wasn't from like an etymology, like it was somebody just talking about it.
Okay.
They're not like an etymologist, so
Yeah, and so this was PUG.
right.
Pug. Okay.
Which just means like clay dishes and pots. So the
Okay.
pigga in Old English is the word for pig. Picga.
Pigga.
That's where we get pig.
Mm-hmm.
And this article suggested that it might be because it's someone like that rolled in mud and dirt. But in reality, nobody else connects the word.
Probably not.
Nobody else connects that Saxon word to the Old English one. So
Yeah, I would think
I think it was just the author of the article making a leap.
Yeah.
They're saying by the 19th century, like people forgot like the origin of the word, so they started making, when people would ask for a pig bank or whatever, they started making it in the shape of a pig, right?
Yeah, yeah. It kind of converged because of the similar sounding words.
Right. So 14th, 15th century, they had terracotta piggy banks in Java, and this just has nothing to do. It's totally unrelated.
Uh-huh.
But like, it's like, looks like a piggy bank, just made out of, in the shape of a pig.
Wait, also in the shape of a pig?
Yeah, in Java. Mm-hmm.
But that's just a
It's
coincidence.
just completely unrelated, yeah.
Oh, that's so weird. Well, it is. You'd probably want a round shape.
Yeah, well,
Right? And if you're gonna make it look like an animal, maybe a pig would.
they also made just other shaped things,
Oh, okay.
you know. But there just happens to be one, and people nowadays looking at it like, what the hell? Right. So Old English, the word for pig comes from Old English. Like I said, it just meant young pig, because the actual word is
hog.
sow.
Sow was a female pig, isn't it? I don't know. That's what I thought.
Well, I guess like the word coming from back then, that's what they called pigs. I don't know. Maybe it turned into female pig now.
Oh, maybe.
And as
What
you know,
about
like
boar, but I guess that's a different animal now. But aren't pigs boars as well?
boar is like the wild pig, right?
Yeah. So maybe when they domesticated them, that name arose from the domestication.
Well, because
of
you know,
boars.
like pork comes from Latin through French,
Mhm.
and as you know, that's through the Norman conquest, where things like fowl also
Yeah, you
instead
got
of
two
chicken.
words for a bunch of different
right.
things.
So the higher classes called it these second beef.
Fancy French words
Right.
instead of the low class Anglo-Saxon words.
So the Old English pig, Picg, meaning young pig, which is also related to big in German, Bigge, and big, Big in Dutch.
What do they mean in those languages?
I think they mean
Something
Oh.
related to pigs?
no. This is where the interesting thing is. This is where like they come from the same root as the word for pig iron.
What?
pig iron. You guys heard of pig iron?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
It's a type of iron?
Yeah.
Metal? Okay.
Like, I think it's not like as pure and all of that. Like, the root of all those words is an oblong piece of metal, a large mass. So that's big. So it basically means like a big amount of something, a large amount of something.
So how did that come to arrive at the English word for pig? That's probably somewhat a mystery or something.
Right. Well, they were suggesting that it might just be like a big animal.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, that
I guess
idea.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But then, we just say it was what they call the small.
Yeah. So that
small
contradicts
pig.
that right there.
Yeah. But, the word for, like I said, it just meant like a big amount of something. That's where they get the pig iron from. It was a amount of metal. They would probably find like it as a mass, Mm. But yeah, there's the etymology.com and other websites like with dictionaries I looked at. The actual origin of the word pig, the root
kind of
is unknown.
Mostly.
It's unknown, yeah. So that's that. You guys ready for more etymology? Huh? Now just so excited, right?
I am, yeah.
So, dude, we were talking about the difference between die and buy.
Oh, yeah.
They're basically the
Greek
same.
words.
They're basically the same thing. Die, di, comes from dis, from the Greek, and bi, bis, comes from bis, from Latin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, bi is Latin, die is Greek.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so a lot of Latin picked up a lot of Greek things, so a lot of words they used to also had it. But also, they both come from the same origin, from Proto-Indo-European.
Die and bi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duo.
Which means two,
DWO.
probably, right?
Right, because in Latin, two was duo, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of other languages, English too.
Yeah.
I'm always curious about in Armenian why it sounds so different.
It's actually real. There was something on Reddit about it because you look at across all the Indo-European languages, and you see that the word for two is actually pretty similar, and then Armenian is just like, what the fuck? Doesn't look anything like the other ones. And somebody linked to like some weird proposed sound change that happened in Armenian where like DW shifted to like ERK or something. And you see it in a couple of other places too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hey,
but
man,
you got to say
into
it on
the
mic. Yeah, I think another example was like, if I'm remembering it right, like Yerking, where that means sky, but like it was related to some other thing that in the original Indo-European was like DW, probably like Deus, where that came from or something, which means God. Sky Father, right? We've talked about that before.
Zeus Peter.
So I'm guessing all those things are related to each other, but it's a very weird sound change in Armenian.
The original play, the father in the French, what is it called, Mher?
Père?
Le Père.
Oh, yeah. Le Père, yeah. Le Father.
But interestingly...
Not just the idea of father.
Yeah. Because we did talk about the origins for the word... Umbria.
Yeah.
Umber. That one.
Somber.
Sombra.
Yeah.
Sombrero. Sombra being the what's that game? Overwatch character. Same root as in Armenian.
Yeah.
The word right?
Which means cloud, which is a shadow provider, basically.
Well, that's the interesting thing about umber like that. It's not just like a shadow, but it's shadow cast by a cloud.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. So one last one. Enuresis. Damn.
Yeah.
Should have looked up how to pronounce it, man. I don't know how to read the
IPA or whatever.
What?
IPA. International
Phonetic alphabet.
Alphabet. Yeah. There we go.
But yeah, it means, so medically, it's a medical term. It just means involuntary urination.
Oh, at any point.
So yeah, it's incontinence, but the medical term itself specifies, like, especially they call it nocturnal enuresis.
Okay.
For bedwetting, basically. But the medical term says, basically everywhere you see it, it's like especially during sleep, especially for children
Yeah.
past the age of
Probably the most common time
right.
people, pee involuntarily is,
Well, because
children bedwetting.
right. Well, in
Larger
adults they just call it incontinence
Yeah.
or anuroseric incontinence, whatever. But yeah, for children that are older than obviously like diaper age. So it comes from Greek en meaning in and uron ouron meaning. Can you guys guess what that means?
Urine?
Yeah. So it means you're in your urine. No, it doesn't mean that. It's swapped around. It means to urinate in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those are my Bob Talks.
Bob Talk.
Put the music in here.
Bob Talk. Bob Talk.
Anything you guys have for Bob Talks?
No, you know what? I was actually wondering about a lot of these things while I was editing the episode last week, but I didn't write any notes, so I'm glad you did.
Yep. Gotcha.
Yep.
You pig.
Nudge?
Nah, got nothing.
There was also a link to I didn't go to it, but there was a link to pig, as in like why do we call cops pigs?
Oh.
I was like, that's pretty obvious. I didn't read it. Not really. We were just talking about are we on? Are we back?
Yeah, we guys are back.
Promoted him plenty.
Yeah.
Though Bobber never really fully supported it, but
I still don't, man. I still think
Can't
like
publicly say that.
I dude,
he has a reputation.
I can't privately say it either.
I have a speech impediment.
Yeah, but no, you were saying that one of our friends' wife is a big Bernie supporter.
Yeah.
Off air. That's what Bob was mentioning.
Yeah, and the union she works for endorsed him, and a lot of other unions have. I think they endorsed him last time too.
Yeah, they're actually one of his biggest backers as far as organized labor goes. Is the nurses union, the big one? There's a couple of them, but they're the big one, I think.
But anyway, we were just talking about the debacle out of Iowa, and I thought one of the biggest takeaways from that was how ridiculous Buttigieg is, and how he declared victory, and how bad, like how good he is. Because we were also watching the debate. We didn't really watch it that much.
Who's we? You and
so Harut and Mickey, shout out to you guys
yeah.
again.
What's up, guys?
So I was hanging out with them, but we were just talking, and it was on in the background. But just reading about it later, people saying how much Buttigieg says without actually saying anything.
He doesn't say anything.
Yeah, which is he's a perfect candidate, right?
Yeah, you can project your own beliefs onto him, but really that only goes so far, man. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
So we were also talking about how apparently he got some money from like a Russian oligarch.
Yeah, which is great because you can throw that Russiagate stuff right back in those people's faces because they're all probably supporting Buttigieg.
And how crazy it is how much money Bernie has raised, not from any really giant rich donors.
From regular people.
How much he's outraised everyone, right?
Yeah. So it's like, if you see that, you obviously understand what's happening, right?
Yeah.
That he has, of the people that are kind of at least haven't totally given up hope on the electoral process, he has a ton of support, right?
Can I say something interesting that Mickey mentioned, actually?
Yeah.
Because I was saying, he's obviously not a Democrat. And
which is a good thing we want to emphasize.
Right, but yeah. And I always say, so why run as a Democrat? You're going to get so much pushback from the party itself because his ideology doesn't line up with theirs. She was saying, that he can actually, if he gets elected, he can, after his first term, he can run as a third party and kind of try to build some sort of third party, viable third party that way. Or
honestly, he will have so much power within the party as far as appointments into committees and stuff like that. He would have the power to, as long with having so many supporters, he would have the power to take over the party.
Yeah, but that's not gonna the party's not just gonna jump that far left. At a certain point, all those other Democrats are still there.
You kind of make things uncomfortable enough for them that they leave on their own, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Or they'll just kick out the progressive wing. But anyway,
yeah. Quick aside.
Yeah,
we were just talking about how terrible Iowa was and how good Bernie Sanders is. But let's get to the game, I guess.
Well, he did really just another thing. They tied, right? more or less. He still got the popular vote,
yeah,
but the
I mean,
delegates
like it was a
were tied.
caucus, so there's actually people got to vote for their second choice, and there's other processes that kind of balance out the different like counties and precincts so that
Right.
they're equally weighted. But popular vote wise, if it was just a straight primary, he
Yeah.
would have actually won like decently well.
Which again, we have to mention that it's ridiculous how weighted towards against the popular vote
Yeah,
our electoral system is.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like, it makes sense for like a state party, like let's say the Iowa Democratic Party wants to know how to, I don't know, run its party and how to implement its policies. It makes sense that you might balance out the counties and weight against, like, make it geographically more
Right.
even. But like for the sake of like sending delegates for the presidential election, like
Right.
obviously
Well,
that has no fucking
also
that has
in-
nothing to do with the different counties of Iowa being equally
Right.
represented. Nobody gives a shit about
but
that.
I just mean also in national politics. I mean, the Senate was created.
To be undemocratic.
It was because people were afraid of the tyranny of the mob. So they on purpose and at first it was not by direct popular vote. You couldn't elect senators by direct vote. That's why
Yeah.
they have such long terms too. It was made to put a
It was
stop
the
on
House
that.
of Lords of sorts.
Basically, yeah. All right,
Yeah. Let's get
Let's
on with the game. I think we're miscellaneating.
let's
right?
get to trivial things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 4,
Season 4.
episode 2.
Dude, bye. The bye
As
episode.
we spoke earlier from the Indo-European
No,
dueos or whatever it was.
Duo in Latin.
Yep.
We are continuing just the next set of questions from the same book. Thank you, David, for
Yep. Shout out to David.
supplying us with great.
The best trivia book ever.
Yep.
No, it's a
that's-
question.
that's a
That's
question.
nice. What's the best trivia?
Yeah, I think it's probably the best one we've had. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
there's
think-
been other good
yeah.
ones too that we've tried. But
We
this one's
definitely
been good
used
for
it a
while.
lot. We used those cards for a while
Especially
too.
for categories.
Yeah.
The countdown cards.
So, like we were saying, it's the miscellaneous category.
Yeah, the
right?
miscellaneous category, which is kind of a category. It's not really general trivia like we thought
Right.
it would be last week. But we like the question, so we're going to continue it. It is Mher versus Bobber. Mher won last week, the first episode of the season, so he is up to bat.
Nope.
And
Oh yeah,
but it
there is no
doesn't
up to
make-
bat. Yeah, it doesn't,
doesn't make any difference anymore.
well, if we're keeping track for the season, I guess it does.
Yeah, but not about who starts first. So
No
we're
one
both
starts.
We're both going at the same time. Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to Quiz Quarters.
Thank you. for
Question
having
number
us.
1: Contenders. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
What country consumes the most coffee per capita?
Per capita. That's tough, man.
Yeah. Are you gonna pause it?
Yeah.
I will be surprised if either of you get this.
Yeah. I don't think we
I
will.
don't really know. Yeah.
I recently saw a map on Reddit that showed the highest per capita.
Oh, really? But you don't remember it?
I'm gonna do this. Now I saw that it wasn't the U.S., which was surprising, because I would think we're famously
Yeah.
coffee drinkers.
Yeah.
You know.
That was actually one of the reading comprehension section questions. Was like the 2 paragraphs about how Americans are addicted to coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So I mean, but it said per capita, like we're pretty far down. Now I'm thinking of like totally different things. Like I feel like I saw like Turkey was really high up there,
Oh, it
but
could
I
be
didn't
a-
I didn't write that down. So
Yeah, I was thinking like, where is it like sort of? I don't know. I was thinking like culturally, like Italy or France.
Yeah,
are like
those are good.
really notable for drinking coffee.
oh,
And
France
I
might
thought
be it. Yeah.
Maybe it's one of the producers, but probably not like Colombia or like
Right.
Indonesia or something.
They can't
But-
afford to drink it.
Yeah, basically because they said
But Turkey is a good idea. But also, I thought if it's too big of a country, like per capita gets tough to kind of compete.
yes.
on.
So in reality, I think if you actually look, it's probably one of those like island nations
Yeah, it's Iowa.
because I've
It's
seen
like Malta or something.
or even like I
if
don't-
one person drinks, they win.
Yeah, right. Because I've seen like recently a lot of things where like when you take per capita, it's a lot of those really small Pacific
Yeah.
countries.
Because they're not very. The Pacific. I was thinking like the small like nation states in Europe and stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those are like very urban, so it's like they can.
So if I had a chance to change my answer, I feel like I would say Turkey now, but I wrote down Russia. So
Russia. Wow, that's kind of a surprising one. I wrote Italy.
yeah, that's a good one.
It is Finland.
I don't know,
You were
man.
pretty close, Bob.
Yeah, I was
You were
bordering.
geographically closer.
Who was closer to the question, though?
Although, if you think about the farthest distance between Russia and Finland, that's actually a
Pretty far.
big distance, yeah.
Yeah, Italy's closer, I guess.
But the closest distance is 0.
But
Yeah.
but the average distance Italy is closer, right?
Probably,
yeah.
yeah.
Because Russia's so
So
big.
on average, I
It's
was
the dumbest
geographically
conversation
closer.
I've
But-
ever had in my life.
But I know how much you disliked last week's first question, and I feel like I don't
like this one.
I don't know how
Yeah.
much I trust this, but I'm sure there's a
Why don't you just look it up right now?
Well, I mean, how would you even measure it, right? It's not like on the census or something.
Well,
all these
but
countries.
I'm sure there's different like people that have measured it at different times through average. I don't know,
Yeah.
import
export,
or like
Sales.
sales probably. I would think.
Oh, sales, you could probably get actual definitive records. Yeah.
Right.
But some countries might be more wasteful than others. So
They take a sip
Hey, don't
and throw it
don't
out.
tell me how I want to consume my coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know
Maybe
how-
I consume coffee
I
by
don't know
throwing it in the
how
trash.
much of it ends up in your bloodstream. All right, that's what we got to measure.
Damn. Well, the Finns are really into
Okay.
what is it? Heavy metal, right?
Yeah. So I guess that goes
There's
with
the
coffee.
most per capita heavy metal bands is in Finland.
Yeah.
So
So
kind of like
that's two things we know about
it's
them.
really black, like coffee. So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
By the way, just so you're forewarned, there is another per capita.
Question
Question later.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay, but not
Next.
yet. Not yet. Question number 2, fellows. According to the Bible, how long did Methuselah live?
Exact amount. Exact.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
we don't get any. Okay.
Range.
I will not give you anything that the book does.
Yeah, I'm already resigned to not getting this, so I don't. I kind of don't care.
I know there's a specific number. That's why I feel like it was. But I guess it's probably more of a round number. I thought it was like 600 or 800, something ridiculously long like that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I know that like healthcare and stuff was so much better back then, so people lived
Well-
hundreds of years.
Well, apparently there were like a dozen people back then, according to the Bible.
yeah,
But dude, a lot of other people too, like according to the Bible, lived hundreds of years.
yeah.
Methuselah, I think, was like Noah's great grandfather or grandfather, something like that.
Oh, did he die in the flood, or we don't know? I guess
No, I don't know.
maybe he survived the flood.
Well, there's a really interesting newish movie with Russell Crowe, who played Noah. You guys remember this?
Called Noah.
Yeah.
I don't
Came out
remember this
pretty
at all,
recently.
no.
I think it was who's the directed that? Someone kind of famous. I
don't
think it was
remember,
Aronofsky.
Really?
Maybe.
I think so.
And I haven't heard of it.
Maybe
Yeah,
because
I
it
think it
must be
was.
pretty recent then.
it does
huh?
seem
No,
like kind of
it
his
was a little
style.
old. It's like
It's
years.
like 5-6 years
Yeah,
old. It's not
that's
that old.
not that recent.
Yeah.
though.
But it was interesting. It got pretty panned. It didn't do well at all. But a lot of the parts of it, I like read up on like this actual story. Like it was pretty true to the Bible story. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there were like
Did they hit R out in the movie?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure they did. I mean, that's a pretty well.
Well established in the
Yeah.
Bible.
And a lot of people know it too, just Christian lore. But there are a lot of interesting things, like these people that lived there before. They were like a different type of people. They weren't like humans now. Anyway, I thought he did a pretty good job of like showing that world. It was like a barren wasteland, basically, that God
What, before
wiped
the
out.
flood? Oh.
Well, because that was the whole idea, that people were like so terrible, they like messed everything up.
Oh, the
and-
flood got rid of all the bad people.
Right. And the only good people were. And then there was a scene where I think he goes and talks to Methuselah, who's
Who
I
was still
think
alive then.
played by Anthony Hopkins, as far as I remember, because it was like his grandfather. Or something.
Anyway, so I just kind of stretched this answer a little bit, and I thought if the book's asking about it, he's probably like the record setter, maybe, or it's notable in some way. So
Well, I
just
think he
went
is the
for
record setter.
Even 1,000.
I said 800.
Price is Right rules.
Price is Right.
No, we gotta. What's the
Gotta get
answer?
it exactly.
It is 969.
Ooh, I
Wow.
was pretty close.
See,
Nice.
that's what I mean. Like, I knew it was not like a round number like that, which is like...
Yeah, you got to be like a biblical scholar to get this answer right. Right?
Well, 969 is a kind of good way of remembering now.
Yep. All right. Moving on up, or moving on to the next question.
Question 3. What is the name of the dog on the Cracker Jack box?
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
Cracker
didn't know.
Jacks are like popcorn, right? Like
peanuts
caramelized
and
pop.
thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
peanuts and
caramelized
caramelized
peanut-
popcorn.
peanuts
They're
and caramelized.
peanuts too?
Yeah,
They
there's
got like different pieces in them,
yeah.
Man,
It's like a mix.
I must not have eaten Cracker Jacks.
It's
in
mainly
like
popcorn.
20 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's like peanuts in there too.
So, I don't know. I thought something like Poppy. I just said Poppy.
Poppy, like
I like that answer.
Uh,
That's pretty good.
I had no idea. I just thought of a name for a dog. I said Buster. I thought
Yeah.
maybe that would be the name of a dog.
Busta.
You gotta bust open the box before you eat it. I don't know.
It would,
Busta.
I mean, not that either of you guys would have known, but a possibly attainable answer on a guess is it's bingo.
Oh, I think I might actually have heard that at some point.
Bingo was his name, oh?
No,
What was
man,
his name?
bingo.
Oh?
Just bingo.
I always heard the song, the nursery rhyme or whatever, as Buster was his name.
Oh, well. So
Obviously,
It was a local variant, you know.
that was the cover of Cracker Jack's original hit. Bingo was his name.
Yeah.
All right, question 400. What vegetable did Mark Twain describe as, quote, cabbage with a college education?
Mm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know the answer to this, Bob. Did you? I had to
No,
just kind of guess.
I mean, yeah. I think we have to guess this. What's,
Cabbage with the college education?
God damn it. What's that fermented white stuff called? I think it's fermented cabbage. It's on hot dogs.
Kimchi? Oh, sauerkraut you're thinking
Yeah.
of?
Sauerkraut, that is made of cabbage, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think
Okay.
so.
It's not a separate vegetable. I was thinking
Right.
of a separate vegetable.
Well, no, I didn't write that as
I
my
mean,
answer.
cabbage with a college education could be sauerkraut.
Oh,
maybe
hey,
the college
that's
yeah, the
interesting.
college
Yeah,
education
maybe
is
the
the pickling or
Graduating.
whatever. Yeah.
Well, I did
No, no.
hear a fact about. God, why can't I? I just said
About sauerkraut?
sauerkraut. Sorry.
You fucking love that shit too.
Yeah, I do. Man, I feel like I'm stealing a lot of these interesting facts from another podcast. But anyway, apparently Captain Cook took it on his voyages as a way to fight
Scurvy or
scurvy
something?
because it had vitamin C, and his crew didn't really want to eat it. So the way he kind of made it appealing to them was like serving it to his officers. So the rest of the crew was like, "Oh, this must be
prestigious
some
or
fancy
something."
thing." Yeah, but there you go. I mean, I just said lettuce. What else could you? What
Yeah,
else would it be?
I thought of something more cabbage-like.
Is
I wrote Brussels sprouts, which is kind of more cabbage-like to me, but I don't know, like...
I like it.
They are very cabbage-like. I think.
Yeah.
I like it.
So
But
I
they
don't-
are also not related to cabbages. I don't think
Oh,
they are related to what other vegetable? Do you guys know?
Belgian
cauliflower.
Dutch sprouts.
That's correct.
Oh,
Ah.
Cauliflower and broccoli. Yeah, Brussels
Oh,
sprouts
really?
are related to those.
Yeah, and did you know broccoli's not it's a hybrid?
yeah, it was like some fucking scientist named Broccoli. His name was literally
What?
something Broccoli or Antonio Broccoli or something.
Broccoli.
And did you guys know that cabbage with a college education is cauliflower?
Is it really?
It is.
Fuck, that sucks.
Oh, I
actually
get
considered
it. I get it now. It looks like a brain.
I guess it kind of does.
Yeah, I think that's where Mark Twain was going with that.
Maybe, yeah.
Whose name?
You don't
was-
get any pride points for that, Bob.
Whose actual name was Samuel Clemens? Do I get pride points for that
What
one?
was that? 4 questions and we're still 0-0?
Yeah, I think that happened last week.
Yeah, we got double donuts now. All right, next one.
Double donuts 005.
So on
Question 5.
Family Guy, to show how Brian is like a fake intellectual, he always quotes that. Whose actual
Oh,
name was Samuel
about-
Clemens?
Mark Twain.
All right, it's gonna be 0-0 after this round too. But
Fuck.
here we go.
You don't know me.
I kind of do.
Yeah, seriously, Mher got a couple of those answers last week that
No, but
we did not expect.
This is the other per capita
Chase.
one.
Oh man, I should have looked up Chase too. You think he has to do with like the
Salmon P. Chase?
Well, there's a bank, right, called.
Oh no, that's it might
J.P.
be
Morgan Chase.
Yeah, because it's more. Yeah, it might be, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Chase might be named after Salmon P. Chase. He was like a money guy. Like he was Secretary of Treasury.
I'm the money guy.
I think that's what's on his Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
That's some money guy.
Occupation, money guy.
All right, question 5. What country eats the most chocolate per capita?
Up for this. All right. Yeah, I have no fucking idea. I'm literally gonna just write something right now.
Dude, I feel like realistically it's gonna be like the Vatican City or something. But
yeah, you would think, right? It's gonna, but I'm just gonna write something.
But again, I'm not gonna.
Not quite that, but
I don't think. It's just the Vatican isn't a real country.
Yeah,
just put that out there.
I agree.
I put the U.S.
Yeah, I put Switzerland.
Oh well, I
just thought of Switzerland
I don't think,
first.
Dude, you don't.
You don't get high off your own supply.
Yes, thank you. I was gonna say you don't shit where you eat, but
yeah.
Well,
you don't get high off your own supply, bro.
You just got fucked for saying that, Bobber, and I got fucked for saying that no one's gonna get this because it's
Switzerland.
Is it Switzerland? Nice. Well, they're known for their chocolate. I guess so is like Belgium too.
And they are small too, right?
Yeah, and a smaller country is more likely to win out per capita because it's probably on average more urban.
Some bad business, Switzerland.
Yeah.
All right,
let's do it.
We're on the board. Mher has 1. Bobber has 0.
Keep saying how we're not going to get it, Naj, every time you do.
I said that for the first question.
Oh, you were right that time. All right, next one.
Here we go. If you have bucula, what do you have? What have you got?
You got to spell
I don't know.
it, yeah.
Buccula, Buccula.
Okay.
So we know the word bucolic.
Dude, I kept thinking of, but I couldn't remember what it meant, and I was like, I know
can't
it's
remember what
related
it
to-
meant either.
Yeah, so you had the same thought process, and I sat there trying to think about
So
what.
there's
it
a
meant.
couple of things at first I was like, is it the plague?
That's what I thought.
Damn it, I wrote that down too, but I erased it.
I
All right,
almost
what's the
wrote,
point of
I
this
mo-
trivia if you guys just think the same
Dude.
things?
I literally almost wrote plague, but I was like, wait, maybe I'm mixing that up with bubonic. But I was like,
Right?
oh, am
That's
I?
exactly my thought process too.
Yeah,
Man, okay, I don't like what I wrote down.
I don't like it either. But I wrote something as time was winding down.
Yeah,
I
it
was
You
doesn't
don't like what I
matter.
wrote down?
It doesn't matter what
What
you
did
guys
you
are
write?
gonna write the wrong thing.
Okay, so I also thought it was something like a cough, pneumonia, something like that.
yeah, we
having
had
to
the same exact thought process.
do with
How many
the
times are you
lungs.
gonna say that to each other, you guys?
Well, all right, let's go through. What is when somebody's bucolic? Is that not like when a kid cries a lot?
Oh, that might be what it is. Because they have a term for that when kids won't stop crying. No, that's when you are not bucolic. There's another word for it, I think, or maybe that's it. Colic. That's just colic.
Colic, okay.
Yeah.
So I just, this is stupid. I wrote down sore throat.
So fucking dumb.
I feel like it might be a cold.
It might be. I wrote cough.
Yeah,
like you were saying.
I thought it might be a cough too. That's why,
I thought maybe it's related to the word. Or, I don't know.
It's a double chin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, we were way off.
What?
I
Wait,
wonder.
what the fuck does bucolic mean? We might have to look that up.
I will look that up.
Is that a suffix or a prefix that you guys are familiar with?
Bucula? No.
I don't know.
Boo.
I don't-
Bu? Not really. No.
might be BUC.
Buck.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That
yeah,
would be a
bucolic is
good
the thing.
etymology discussion on the next
Yeah.
episode. All right. Next one. Me and Bob were thinking the same exact thing, though, which was interesting.
All right. Question 7. Mher's lead 1-0. What is the longest railway line in the world? All right. Pride points for
Second longest?
no for giving me the actual length in miles,
Ah.
give or take. I'll give you 500 miles.
969.
No, it's
No,
no,
it's-
longer than that.
Well, okay, so
5,000 miles. 5,300 miles.
I want to say 6,400 miles.
It is 5,772. So your second
Ooh.
answer
Nice, yeah.
was
Well-
just barely by what 28 miles. You were
Oh, really? Fuck, I was close.
But this is Price is Right rules. Were you
Was I over? I don't even
No,
know.
I was. I was.
You were over. Yeah, Bobby, you just screwed
Do
yourself.
we both lose or do you win?
Well, I'm thinking it's Trans-Siberian.
1 mile. I also wrote Trans-Siberian.
Yeah, I felt like you'd both get that. That you were correct.
Yeah.
Both on the board.
I mean, it's like a long ass landmass, so it's got to be there.
But there are. So you can go to China with like a line that splits off from the Trans-Siberian. So you can even go like pretty far south now.
Although I heard this is kind of an interesting thing that a lot of China has this new initiative or whatever, the Belt and Road or whatever, and one part of it that makes I guess like shipping and stuff like that really hard across Eurasia is that there's actually gauge changes somewhere. I think in Russia, so you can't actually on the same rail get from Europe to like basically the Far East.
Well, Russia famously has like larger gauges. Like
yeah. So I think they might want to, I don't know, fix that or something. And they want to do something about it.
Should we tell him? Should we tell Putin?
Yeah, Putin, get on that. But
just tell Buttigieg and then he can.
Oh,
Russian agent. No.
all right.
Yeah. Okay. So we both got that 2-1.
But there are also now roads. Most like so much of shipping now is just
on
trucks.
actual roads, dude. I don't know if I said this on the podcast before, but I think I want to bring it up because it's so weird. So China has this thing that they want to invest in throughout the world called like the Belt and Road Initiative. It's like the new Silk Road kind of thing, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Called Belt and Road, right? That's what it's called, and it's for both like shipping, rail, and stuff, and like sea shit. Like shipping across the ocean. And get this. The belt refers to overland lanes of transportation, and road refers to the oversea version. I swear to God, the road does not actually refer to roads. And then if you look this up, this might be interesting for next week's Bob Talk too, is that road is actually a type of I don't know, like nautical characterization of certain ways to sail or whatever. It's actually a nautical term or something like
it's
that.
It's spelled the same way?
Yeah, and like
that we adapted or for land or
it might, I don't know. I actually don't know. But have you guys heard of a place called Hampton Roads in Virginia? It's like the name familiar. Of a city, but the roads refer to its coastline. It's some kind of port or something.
Interesting.
That was very surprising.
And it's still spelled roads, R-O-A-D.
Yeah, same spelling, yeah. But I think it has to be plural. Oh, and there's one thing I think it's short for roadstead. So roads is almost kind of like a singular. But then it should be Belton Roads. Anyway, cut this if it's too boring later. Let's go to the next question.
You talking to yourself?
Yeah.
Dude, I think that was enthralling. So.
Yeah.
Oops.
In what country? Oh, sorry. Here
Next
it's
cue?
2. It's 2-1. Mher's lead.
What question is this?
It's
8.
8. Shit.
In what country were fortune cookies invented?
No, by the ways. I got it.
I wrote the answer. You got
So
some.
did I. Are we back?
All right, here we go. Points
Yeah.
for both of you.
USA.
I wrote
Yeah.
USA
So
exclamation
apparently
point.
they were invented in San Francisco.
Yeah,
far as I know.
I've heard this fun fact before.
Yeah, I had a feeling you both knew
I think
that.
that was a bad question.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
How
even if
fun
you
is
didn't
it?
know that, then you would be like, where, China? Like what else would you say? Like
Right.
Rwanda or something? No.
Canada.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Which is
If it
where...
was Canada, that would be a better question, but it's not.
Yeah.
Well, we know that's where one type of famous pizza was invented.
Yeah, the Canadian pizza.
What?
Wait, what kind of pizza was invented in Canada?
Hawaiian.
The Hawaiian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It was invented in Canada?
Yes.
Oh.
Now you know.
All right, 3-2. It is Mher's lead still, up by 1 from the chocolate question. Let's see if he knows just as much about turkey, the food.
The food. Or the animal.
The animal
I guess.
or...
Only when it's food.
Only when it's food. What country has the highest per capita consumption of turkey?
Are you fucking
Yeah.
serious? God
Number
damn
3.
it.
I didn't see it because it wasn't written the same as the other two.
All right.
But it's another.
Yeah, I fucking hate this question more than the other ones.
So
honestly.
I'm thinking... Dude,
Well, you hate turkey.
I like turkey. the when the animal is a
So
food.
I have... I feel like it's the UK because they do eat turkey a lot.
Yeah.
But as we know, turkey is native to the Americas. So I kind of split the difference and put Canada.
I was thinking. I was. Yeah, I didn't know, and this is probably a terrible answer.
Did you put Turkey?
No, I didn't put Turkey. I put USA again because honestly, I thought that would be the answer, even though it would be 2 in a row. It's like a new world animal, right? Like they're not.
No, it definitely is. Like,
so yeah, I thought Canada as well too.
another fun fact: Benjamin Franklin proposed it as like a symbol for America. Yeah.
But I thought, I mean, if you honestly asked me this question, I would be like, maybe the U.S. Honestly, we eat a pretty good amount.
Next
of turkey.
time, honestly, ask him, bro.
Look at this dishonest host.
But yeah, that's literally why I thought, like, Canada is like a little smaller, so population
Yeah,
wise.
maybe. All right, what is it?
It is Israel.
Really? That's pretty
Random.
unexpected.
Yeah, pretty random, right?
Okay. Cool.
They eat. I don't know any Middle Eastern food at all that involves turkey, honestly. So I don't.
Yeah, but there are a lot of
Maybe they're
a lot
like
of
immigrants,
Israelis
basically from
or
Americas
European and
stuff.
American.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
All right, 3-2. Final question. Bob can tie it.
But it is it is eaten worldwide a lot now, I think.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the sandwich meat always being turkey and not chicken?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just easier to slice. I don't know. Like, have you ever seen sliced chicken that thin? I don't think so.
I think it might just be like taste. It tastes a little more, I don't know, like traditional sandwich meats, maybe. I have no idea.
What is that?
Does it taste like
that?
pork? It doesn't. Does it taste like salami? I don't know. Not really.
No, but I mean, a lot of healthier food, like they do substitute turkey.
Yeah.
If you've noticed, my mom's been substituting turkey in a lot of beef dishes.
Yeah. I guess it's maybe just more versatile or something.
Ground turkey.
But again, I feel like the taste is a little less chickeny.
Than chicken?
Then chicken, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. I can't be wrong there, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right, guys?
All right.
Final one. Can Bobber
For the tie.
prevent Mher from answering this question correctly?
Yeah. I can mess him up right now. I'll stop you.
All right. Who is the first person other than royalty to appear on a British stamp?
Okay. Yeah, I actually think this is a pretty good question. It's pretty interesting. And you could, like, come up with some good guesses, you know?
So let's go there because I feel like there's like obvious a prime minister or something.
Yeah, I went with basically the most obvious answer, I think.
So did I, but I feel like it's probably going to be like an author or someone like that.
In the arts or something, yeah.
So who's a famous British author? This would be early 20. I mean, there's a lot of them, but who would be
like
on
Dickens? I don't know.
Like who was
Earlier than that?
Yeats?
Yeah. Shakespeare? He's kind of an
Shakespeare.
author. Yeah.
Oh,
it could be Shakespeare. That's actually
that's a
pretty
good
guess.
one.
That's neither of your answers.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
From your
I'm
reaction.
I'm also
Marlowe
thinking.
or Bacon
I'm also
or something.
thinking it's Isaac Newton.
Yeah, it could be him, like one of the most famous scientists, or Darwin. I was thinking that too. It could
Maybe.
be like some of the greatest scientists ever.
So I
British.
feel like if I had a second stab at this, I would put Isaac Newton. But stupid games and shit. You put Churchill as well.
Yeah, I mean, like
What?
If I had to guess, well, I said I put the most obvious answer.
Yeah.
Or it could, yeah,
So I guess you win.
because we put the same
either
answer.
way. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was Shakespeare.
it was
Nice.
Shakespeare.
It was
You know
I
what? It
did
didn't-
not even think of
it
that.
It didn't
dude.
come up, but
Yeah.
once we
Yeah, because you guys started listing authors, and I was like, isn't there one?
yeah,
kind of-
because as soon as we arrived at Shakespeare, I was like, wait, that's actually a really good answer. But I didn't think of it at all. Once I hit Churchill, I was like, that's a pretty fucking good answer, so I'm going to stick with that. You know?
I was thinking of authors, but I could not think of Shakespeare. That seems pretty obvious now. Anyway, good game, Mher.
Yeah, GG.
GG. Handshake. Thank
Those
you,
questions
Naju.
are pretty good. Thanks for hosting, Naj.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah, thanks, audience, listening, and we'll see you next week.
Farewell.